Okay.
Oh my goodness, where's my little thing at? Hold up. I ain't even ready. Where's my background? Hey everyone, we are live, and you see I had to get my little background ready, not even ready. But I hope you've had a great week. We're going to have a wonderful time, a wonderful conversation tonight. There is so much going on, and I
Yes.
wanted to still continue to come on Facebook because this will still live in Facebook land. So whatever it is that you have going on today, enjoy it, be a part of it, experience it, and we'll be back together next Tuesday when you can join us again. But I'm Kamilah Bywaters. I'm running for the Board of School Trustees in District E. And I'm so excited to be here on Tuesday tonight. I'm definitely going to do some updates, but our conversation today is going to be around the superintendent search. I want to share information with you. I want Mr. Rodney to go ahead and introduce himself and talk about what he's doing tonight.
Hey, everybody. This is Rodney Smith from Our Own Voices and The Gathering. And of course, with Kamilah Bywaters TV. At least that's what I'm going to call it tonight. And I'm a big supporter of Kamilah's. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be on this show if I wasn't dedicated to her campaign to be the next school board trustee of District E. And she's going to win it. There's going to be history made at the top of the ticket and all the way down to the school board races with Kamala Harris, and we got our Kamilah Bywaters right here. So I am actually on my way to Black Men's Roundtable discussion, and it's at the West Side Oasis, affectionately called WSO, located at 808 West Lake Mead Boulevard. That's 808 West Lake Mead Boulevard. And we thought that Black men need to share some things with each other, share some things with others on what we think. What is our opinion? What do we feel about the candidates in the race? Again, from the top of the ticket to the bottom, as well as how do we feel about Vice President Kamala Harris? And there's been a lot of talk about Black men not supporting her. There's been talk about Black men not voting. Black men not voting? Is that such a thing? So we're going to go and talk about that, and so talk about what we can do and the problems that we have with the two-party system that we have in this country, and how oftentimes the voice of the Black man is left out. And the reality of it is, it takes both of us, Black man, Black woman. We are the decision makers, but when means we're vulnerable. And we might be a little vulnerable right now. And we want to see if we can figure out how to bring us together and do what needs to be done. So I am going to Black Men's Discussions at the West Side Oasis at 808 West Lake Mead Boulevard. But until I get there, I'm going to hang with Sister Kamilah and you all, and let's talk about this school board superintendent search for the fifth largest school district in the nation.
Yeah, goodness gracious. It's a big deal, everyone. Excuse me, you all, listen, I didn't caught COVID. So I had so many events planned last weekend that I sat out and missed, which is okay. 2 days ago, I felt really, really horrible. So today I'm finally feeling less of the chills and feeling like I'm freezing. So I'm in a better space and I'm just monitoring. I'm hoping that my COVID will clear up so that I could continue back on the trail. But somebody already told me, well, let me know what event you're coming to because I won't be there. I was like, dang.
Real talk.
I was like, I can't get a clear test. But anywho, so you just a reminder, COVID is still out here. I think I spoke to 3 people the week before I caught it who said that they had COVID. So just remember to bring your hand sanitizer with you. I was kind of trying to think of when I think I may have at the rally is probably where when I was around the large group. So it's still COVID's still here. So make sure you're just, you know, remembering not to touch your face, wipe your eyes, and all of those extra things. So we're in quarantine
Wash your
here.
hands.
Wash your
Wash your
hands.
hands.
Yes. I I do it religiously.
With hot soap and water for 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Count it down, 20 seconds. That way you have a better chance of getting rid of the COVID bacteria, COVID virus, COVID germs that's on you. So wash your hands with hot soap and water for about 20 seconds. And also, when you do go to large events or congested indoor events, there's about 1 million infections a day with COVID right now. 1 million, 1 million. So that's a whole bunch of people. If you go around a crowd, please put your mask on. Don't be like me. Go to the crowd, no mask. Please put your mask on. That's the
Yeah.
public service announcement for today.
That's our reasonable service for today. So I wanted to do some announcements really quick. We might not even make it to the conversation by the time you get to your spot, because these announcements, I want to make sure that we take time on that. But there's a lot happening today. There's so much happening. We have the DNC National Convention. I just got off. I just saw Nevada cast their votes. So that was really cool to see that. And it's hype. You know, the vibe is hype. So those of you who attended the rally in Las Vegas, it is the same energy and vibes out there in Chicago. And I'm loving it. This is like an energy that people were waiting for and looking for. And I'm hoping that this mobilizes all of us to get out and vote. So I know that there's a lot of focus. There's watch parties happening tonight. So enjoy those. And like I said, I wanted to continue to do this Facebook tonight because it will live in Facebook land, and you can always come back and see what Kamilah and Mr. Rodney were talking about. So there's also the Black Women in Trades. Evelyn Pacheco is putting together a wonderful event that's happening on Saturday. I have to find the flyer, and I'll put more information about that before I leave today in the Facebook chat. And I'm going to make sure that I link stuff in the post. Also, Nevada Black Women for Harris are doing a down ballot candidate. No, let me not say down ballot. It's Black Women on the Ballot event on Saturday as well. So that's something. I think the event has no more tickets, is what I'm
Oh,
hearing.
wow.
Oh my goodness, they put together such a beautiful flyer. Oh my gosh, that flyer is so beautiful. I'm gonna send it out. Keep it as like a souvenir. I think I'm gonna blow mine up and keep it as a souvenir because the way that it was done is just so it's beautiful.
And do
Um,
I know somebody on that flyer, Sister Kamilah?
I made it. You know what? I made it on the flyer. I did.
Whoop, whoop.
And
Hey, yeah.
everyone on that flyer is just so phenomenal, and I'm so excited for our campaigns. So I will definitely share that. It's really something that should be, you should get it, frame it, blow it up. I'm definitely gonna do that. Um, so those
Sister
are the
Kamilah,
events. Yeah,
before you, I hope people understand that it's not just you about to make history.
yeah.
There's a whole bunch of people, whether we're talking some sisters out there locally, of course, nationally with Vice President Kamala Harris on the ballot. But might be a transitionary moment in our country with so many people of color, so many Black people, so many women, so many Black women running for every office, including the
Yeah.
highest office in the land. As much gloom and doom as there is out there, and believe me, there's gloom and doom out there, but there's also some goodness. And that's that goodness. And I believe that the light overcomes the darkness, and this is our chance to shine. So let's shine, shine, shine.
Exactly. You're right. There's so many pockets of history happening, not only in our own state, but across the country. So it's really exciting to see the move and to see the excitement around it. Oh my goodness. I had a wonderful conversation with a young lady who is in college. We met on Zoom, and she's been following my campaign. Her name is Peregrine, and she's going to come on to our show because it was just so fascinating how she found me. And I'm like, you have to come on the show to share who you are, what you're studying in school, and how you're interested in politics. It was such a cool story. But it was really great to have a conversation with her. And it really reminded, she made a comment saying that she was happy that we were able to get on Zoom because sometimes it seems like people feel so disconnected from people who are running for office, or I guess if they have higher level positions, they feel like they don't get those opportunities. So when she said that, that really just touched my heart, because I want to make sure, or at least work as hard as possible as I can, to be a person who can be touchable and connect with the community, be able to have face-to-face conversations, so that it's not that you feel so disconnected from me and the work that we're doing together. Because essentially, this is work that we're doing together. And I want to be able to be a model of that. So I can't wait to have her come on. I actually need to email her and follow up with that. But it was just such a breath of fresh air to have this young person following me and telling me like the details. I was like, oh, I was like, you've really been in it. And it was so inspiring. And I think she'll be so inspiring for young people to really get engaged in this election. And
Well, let's not forget that you are
yeah,
inspiring to young people, because that is a young person that you inspired. Uh, and let's also remember, Sister Kamilah, you're doing some cutting edge stuff. It's not that Zoom is brand new, but to have someone who's running for office, and that says once they get in office, once you will, that you will still communicate with the people directly like this.
absolutely.
Name one other local politician, because I'm sure I'm missing them, that's doing this right now, that has this direct line with their constituents. Do, 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 do,
You know,
do, do, do. Boom,
I
boom.
never want to diminish anyone's work and what they're doing. So I'm just going to stay in my lane, and I know what I'm doing.
Well, see, I'm not running for office, and I'm not diminishing nobody. But let me tell you, I am uplifting my Sister Kamilah Bywaters right here, making sure that you know when she says she goes to the school board meeting, she's at every one. And when she's not at the school board meeting, to keep that communication with her constituents and even folks who may not be her constituents. She
Yeah.
is right here every week on Tuesday. Hey, y'all, right here.
Thank you. You cut out a little bit, but I heard bits and pieces. But did you make it to your destination?
No way. Hopefully they don't miss me. Are you
Okay.
catching me? Am I broken up?
You're broken up a little bit, but it's fine. I got the last part. So what I want to do is I wanted to talk a little bit about the superintendent search, because it's very important. Right now, our school board is, as they have it right in their powers to do, are in a selection process to choose the next superintendent. And the hope is that, even though you may not be, I have one person who's viewing. I don't know if that's me viewing the live, but to whoever's viewing the live right now, thank you for joining us. And if you have any comments or any way you want to participate, just put it in the chat. But the hope for me is that we start to build a community, or let's say, because I don't want to say that we're not doing it, because I know that there are pockets of individuals who participate in school board meetings. And there are so many reasons why people are not able to go to school board meetings. It's life is lifing, and there's some people who are not able to go to school board meetings because it's not safe for them to go to school board meetings. So I understand that. And I, acknowledge that there are people who are doing work in the ways that is the way that they're able to express their work. But what I would like to somebody's coming in. Let me see who this is. Let me make sure we're not getting bombed really quick. Hi, thank you for joining us. Are you able to put your name on the Zoom, or just let me know who you are? Okay. So I'm always nervous. I'm just gonna, sidebar, I'm always nervous. Because remember when we got bombed with like all
Woo.
that stuff? So I'm always nervous to let somebody in. I'm like, they're about to get me.
Yeah, there
So
was a whole lot of stuff hanging out that day.
I know, I was freaking out. So Really what I want us to do as we're moving forward is to build our ability to be involved, whatever that may be. If it's, as we're going through this Facebook chat, come back and just get involved with the chat. If there was a question in the chat, help to answer it. Because what I want us to do is to really think about our own power as a collective, as citizens.
That's right.
To activate our voice when it comes to making or being a part of the change, right? I'm not like, and I've really been in reflection about this as I've been being asked questions, and I'm seeing some people like, oh, she's not talking about policy, which I am. And I do. But one thing that's important to me is that all the ideas, I do have ideas, obviously. You've heard me speak at school board meetings. I speak here on Tuesdays. I talk about some of the challenges, but what's important to me is that you have a leader in me that's not going to go speak on your behalf without knowing what your behalf is.
Right, right.
Like, that makes no
Your
sense.
be-
You know
your
what I'm saying?
behalf.
Like, that makes no sense to me. So, and I make that a forward statement because it's really important to me that I understand what it is that you value. And there may be times that where we're going to have to agree to disagree. And then I'm going to have to do my work to make decisions based off of the informed research and conversations and discussions that I have. So you providing information in the chat, sharing your ideas, I go back and I look at those and I'm like, oh, so-and-so said this today. I know like Eileen Edie, I know she's been a person who has been participating. Vicki Crydell has participated, and Belinda Denise. I'm shouting out people who I can remember participating in the chat. Some of our trustees, I know I've seen Trustee Cavasso, Trustee Zamora, they've participated in the chat. Let's see, I think Cecily has participated in the chat. So though your comments are valuable because it's a part of the research that we're doing to understand our collective thoughts around issues that concern us. So what I would like for us to do is really begin as we're moving forward, and we have this new revitalization around Kamilah and what's happening with our election. I really want us to re-engage ourselves. Not only, obviously, my focus is school board, but there are other meetings happening. You have city council, you have the commissioners meeting. So trying to find where you feel the most comfortable and being a part of that change. But specifically for us, we're talking about school board. So I would like to see us be more engaged. And let me tell you, Trustee Lola made a comment at the last board meeting that essentially all this work was going to be done to provide opportunities for the community to participate in focus groups. And she basically made the comment like, no one's going to even participate. And I thought, and I was just like, I'm so glad you're not running. I'm so glad, because what kind of hope is that in our community? And so I wanted to do this call tonight because it's vital. Like, let's just prove that wrong. Like, we are engaged people, engaged citizens, and education. The associates who are HYA associates who are leading the superintendent search, they've already said that this community is very engaged in what's happening in education. They're getting phone calls about the focus groups. They're getting phone calls from individuals wanting to participate. So we have a very engaged group of people, just depending on how you choose to engage. So I do want to go over a little bit of what's been happening with the superintendent search, just in case you have not been following it. So if you go to ccsd.net, and there's a tab at the bottom and it says Superintendent Selection Search. And it tells you the name of the company that we're working with is Hazard, Young, Atea, and Associates. I think I said that correctly. And hey, I'm on Zoom. And they are responsible for moving forward with our superintendent search. Their goal for selecting the superintendent is by November 1st, 2024. They have, in regards to finalists, which the finalists for finalists, community meet and greet, and public interviews, that information has not been put out yet. But if you go to ccsd.net, there's a timeline, community engagement, and job posting information. So this process started, the planning meeting started July 11th. Then there was a special board meeting on July 25th to discuss engaging phase participants, timeline, advertising, and the due diligence of the work. August and September now, which we're in August, and we're getting towards the end of August, is advertising. So I haven't seen any advertising come across my social media, but I could imagine that maybe there's some advertising happening on social media or sponsored ads. I haven't seen it. Don't know if they're out there, but their advertisement definitely is on the website. So let's see here. So August 7th was a focus group. Yeah.
Okay,
You
I am
made it?
at my destination. I'm at
Okay.
WSO. I wanted to support you doing this. The
Thank you.
superintendent search is super important. And just to show how these things are connected, the Department of Education under Project 2025 will be eliminated. And many of the issues that we normally would address when they're not solved locally that might get elevated, that need federal intervention, won't be there for us. So when Sister Kamilah says the top of the ticket or the bottom of the ticket, really is the whole ticket, because all of it works in concert. Either it's going to work for us or against us, and it's up to us to make it work for us as much as we can. So everybody, I'm going into this Black Men's Roundtable discussion group tonight, and education might even be a topic. So thank you, Sister Kamilah, for allowing me to be on, showing my support for you, and I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. Have fun at the event. Thank you so much. All right. So I was going over, where was I at? So we're in the, the advertising space right now. August 7th, they did a board work session where they talked about the focus group meeting schedule and had a discussion about it. August 8th, regular board meeting and an update on the focus groups. Now we're in August 22nd, they also had an update. So now we're in the August 12th to September 20th phase. Interviews and focus group meetings are happening. I know there's a focus group right now with the HYA that's happening at, I believe it's happening at the City Council chamber. So for those of you who are able to attend that, great. It's great that you're able to attend in person so you can provide public comment and public input. So I'm just reading off of the, off of the updates from HYA. So right now, there was an invitation that was sent out to groups who wanted to participate. I'm sorry, there was an invitation sent out to groups who were put on the list by the trustees. Now, I know that there was some concern that people were not put on the invitation list. So I'm reading here, it said, please check your email for the invitation. But if you did not receive an invitation, but would like to be included, there's a form to fill out. So I'll make sure that I put that form. I'm going to put all these links on my page. So there's a form if you would like to participate in a focus group. And focus groups are happening, they've been happening from August 12th to September 20th. So there's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of time. You haven't missed it. We're right in the beginning of the thickness. So I'll put that up, the focus group link. Okay, here's something that's really important. I'm going to click this, the online survey. There's also, see if it clicks over it. Okay. The online survey is very important. The Clark County School District Board of Trustees, through its ambassadors, they're calling HYA their ambassadors, invite you to take a brief survey regarding the desired leadership attributes for the next superintendent, okay? The survey takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and your response will remain confidential. So it is absolutely important that you fill out this survey. The survey closes after Labor Day on September 3rd. So it's August 20th today. You have until September 3rd to fill that out. So I'm going to make sure that that link also posts on my Facebook page. And I don't know, something's happening with my Facebook page. I hear the word people using is shadow banning. They shadow banning me. I'm like, what? There's people on here acting a plumb fool, and they go viral. I'm talking about education and I'm getting shadow banned. Make it make sense. But anywho, so I'm going to post an online survey. You want to make sure that you fill that information out. All right. So what else do we have here? So September 4th, there's going to be a board work session where they're going to interview protocols workshop. They're going to do an interview protocols workshop and make some decisions. They don't say what type of decisions. On September 12th, they're going to draft a leadership profile report and present it to the board. So this leadership profile report is going to come from the surveys that we take. So it's really important that you fill out the survey because they're going to synthesize all of that information and use that to present to the board. So you want to make sure that you fill that out. So September 26th, they're going to do approval of the leadership profile. September 30th, what's September 30th? Let me see what that is. September 30th says application deadline. So let me look, make sure this is what it is. I'm by myself, y'all. So I got to navigate everything by myself. So give me a second. Okay. Yep. So right now, the application is open and you can actually apply now. Let me click apply now, see what they're talking about. Let's see, you can apply now, but my computer is too slow, so apply now. Okay, so you have to log in as a candidate if you're interested in applying for the Clark County School District Superintendent of Schools. The application ends on September 30th, okay? And they have, the salary range is $350,000 to $400,000. Y'all better stop playing with me. The application is September 30th. The deadline for the application is September 30th at 5 p.m. Now, what is this? Oh, okay, this is other related jobs. They got some other superintendent jobs down there. Okay. 350,000 to 400,000. I'm over here struggling to get people to pay me what I'm asking for. Goodness gracious almighty. Anywho, the leadership profile will be posted on September 27th. So, wow. Okay. So that's that part. Let me go back. So applications are open now. They close September 30th. There is a form if you want to participate in the focus groups. And there's also a link to an online survey so you can provide your input on what you would like to see in a superintendent. October 2nd, on October 2nd, what they have on their timeline, the slate will be presented to the board and the board will decide the candidates to interview, okay? October 9th, so we want to make sure that we're there. We want to be at October 2nd meeting. October 9th, special board meeting, board initial interviews, and adjudication. Now, why would this be is this, I don't know if this is in person. Let me see what day. I don't know the board interviews. Would they do this in person? They might. Now I'm going to tell you this for real, for real. Let me look at this calendar, because if this is an actual board meeting, hold on. It says special board meeting, board initial interviews. No, that can't, yeah, time subject to change, because right now they have it for 9 a.m. That definitely should not be a 9 a.m. meeting. Absolutely not. October 10th, and they do have it in red, but no, we shouldn't even put 9 a.m. there. October 10th will be an update. October 16th, the special board meeting will happen, and the semifinalist interviews and education will happen at the special board meeting. Again, they have 9 a.m. That should not be a 9 a.m. meeting. October 24th, update. October 30th will be the day that they plan to approve the final selection. November 14th, 5 p.m. is the transition planning. Okay, so that's a lot. Again, you can get this information on ccsd.net. So please make sure that you're following up to date. This is a very important decision that our community should be a part of. Just considering all of what we have been through in the past decades with educational challenges in our Clark County School District. This is a vital time for our community to express their concerns, their triumphs, their celebrations, the challenges, the issues, like put it all on the table, because this is the time at this time. And I really hope that our school board will really hone in and listen to the community, listen to students, and see what it is that students, teachers, support staff, administrators, and really hone in on the needs. So I have been asked many, many times, what is it that I'm looking for in a superintendent? I am looking for an individual who goes beyond, and let me clarify. So we're going to get some beautiful resumes. Absolutely. We're going to have some individuals who apply whose resumes are going to be fire. I mean, they're going to have the qualifications, they're going to have the characteristics on paper. But what's really important to me is that we have to go a little bit deeper, because what is said about you on paper may not be what's said about you in regards to your personality. What people say about you, they may say, "Ooh, you have a doctorate degree or a PhD," but how do you treat people in the workplace? How do you deal with conflict? How do you handle culture and climate issues? How are you going to work with Nevadans? Because we're definitely gonna have some people who are applying from out of state. So how are you going to handle taxpayer dollars? So these things are very important. And, I'm interested in knowing, how were your relationships at your current job situation? And I really do think it's important that we do that deep work to really understand who the candidates are, because we will wind up and find ourselves in the same situation that we just left with the past superintendent. As I've been going around and already operating in the space of a trustee, I'm not elected, obviously, but I was told by one of the trustees that the work starts now. So I've been working and I've been listening to the community, and there's a lot of conversations around. It's the same conversations keep coming up. Our community does not feel like collaborative. Let me say, some members in the community don't feel like collaborative partners with the Clark County School District. Some people, some organizations and individuals have gotten phone calls one day saying, "Hey, we no longer need your services," out of the blue. What type of relationship are we building with people who are doing phenomenal work in our district, who are providing results, and then one day you tell them, "Oh, we no longer need you. We can't," or, "Hey, we can't talk to you because of no reason given." That's not the culture and climate that we need from our leaders. And we have to build we have to rebuild trust, transparency, and accountability. So I'm looking for a superintendent who is going to really take time to develop and build relationships with our students, teachers, administrators, support staff, and our educational stakeholders. What's important to me is that we have an individual who values Nevadans, who understands that as much as possible, we want to make sure that taxpayer dollars are staying in our school district and are being utilized by our community, right? Too many sending all these millions of dollars out of our state for programs and software that are not serving the best interests of our community. Yes.
Mine, this, I in the other room, I hear like this.
Okay, give me 1 second because you're on the Zoom now, okay? So give me a second, okay? Okay, you can say hi. Okay, thank you. So, Zoom bomb. So, yes. So I'm definitely want an individual who values feedback, who's not going to be offended when they receive suggestions or feedback from their team. You know, that's a culture that we really have to begin to disrupt. I know when I first started teaching in the Clark County School District, I had just graduated from Howard University. So I was like, yeah, I was ready to go, ready to save the world. I just graduated from the Mecca. I'm ready. My professors have prepared me to be the change in the world. And womp womp, I got to the classroom, and little did I know that no, it was not going to be me telling anyone anything or sharing what the best practice is after I done got educated as a special education teacher. And I really want that type of mentality to be disrupted, where leaders feel like they're so high up and they've learned so much, where the people that they work with can't provide suggestions or say like, hey, this is a challenge in this space. This is maybe not working well. Can we look at it differently? We need to be able to have those types of relationships in schools with our leaders, and for the leaders not to feel offended, for the teachers not to feel offended. So I really, that's something that's really important to me, is that we have a workforce of leaders and teachers and staff who are able to provide and take critical feedback. Period. It's a part of life, and do it gracefully, you know. And I'm not saying I'm not talking about being rude and being mean and all that stuff. All that stuff needs to jump out the window. Like once you get in your car, play whatever your vibes are, do whatever you got to do. So when you walk into your school building, you walk into your Clark County School District building, that your vibes are positive energy, love, compassion, and ready to do good, solid work that embraces the humanity of everyone that you're working around. If we cannot create a culture and a climate that respects the person that works next door to me, that works beside me, that works, you know, working with the students, then we're not going to be able to get in. The general says she's on 3 conferences. Oh my gosh, General, you're so funny. So my statement was, what did I say? So building a community that we can work together. That's really important to me. Climate and culture is so important to me because I've experienced that drama. I've experienced what is it? Like the frustration, the uneasiness, the heaviness of coming into a school building where you didn't feel like you were a part of the team and like everybody was watching you to fail. Like, no, I done been to school with the best of them. I'm not about to walk up here every day with all this training I got and feel like I don't belong in this community. So I really want a superintendent who can begin to work on our climate and culture. There's no reason why people haven't come out for coffee until the last superintendent left. Everybody's having coffee now. Like, no, you're showing us how oppressive the whole situation was. Another thing that is important to me with a superintendent is we need an individual who can restore relationships across departments, who can restore relationships with our what am I saying? With our elected officials, with students, with teachers and families. And I have something for all of it. Students, we're in 2024 now. So we have to reach students in a different way, and we have to be innovative. Our students right now are very tech driven. So we have to meet students where they are and also ensure that their voices are included in conversations that are concerning them. Families, we need a superintendent that sets a culture and a climate that families are collaborative partners, that they should be respected. And you're once in a while you may have a difficult family member because some people are very protective of their children. And there's some parents who be ready to let's go, but we have to learn as the school leaders and as the individuals in school who are providing a service to our community, how to work with parents. And you gotta win them over. Like, that's what you have to do. Big shout out to my son's teacher, Miss Serwin, and I've been practicing her name. She called me the other day. First week of was it the first week of school? Oh yeah, after the first week of school, she called and said, "Hey, Kamilah, you're doing a great job with Jasiri. Thank you so much. Like, he comes in, he does what he's supposed to do." And I was like, this is awesome. Parents love to hear you call about their children. So that's a culture and the climate that should be precedent with our superintendent. Like, it's everything starts the mode and the mission and the way that your organization runs is led by the superintendent, the person at the top, and the school board. So all this madness that we was hearing in the past, like whenever I hear about drama, challenges, and issues happening in the school, my first question is, who is the leader? Who is the leader? That's my first question. They allowing this? What kind of place is that? That's number one. And I've talked to district leadership many times. I'm like, if this is happening, I'm looking at you. You don't know this stuff is happening and going on? If not, why? And we need to be more, we have to be more collaborative and in the spaces where decisions are happening. So for families, respecting their collaborative intentions and providing good customer service. Yes, you may get irritated sometimes. Yes, somebody may talk to you the wrong way, but you provide good, solid customer service regardless. I've seen principals roll their eyes at parents. They roll their eyes at me. I'm like, if you rolling your eyes at me, I know good and well you doing this to the mama and the daddy that just complained to me about your attitude. So no. The next thing that's important to me, a superintendent who's really going to evaluate all of the departments in the Clark County School District. Every single department and team member, a part of the Clark County School District, this includes the Clark County School District Police, should feel a part of the community. When we're making decisions, like if you're going to be making decisions about special education services, include the department that handles special education services. If you're going to be making decisions about safety, include the Clark County School District Police. Like, why wouldn't you include the people who are experts in that area, and this is the work that they specialize in? So a superintendent that's collaborative across the district, I want to see that. Now, when we're talking about, let's see, I had students, teachers. I want to see a superintendent who is going to look at the contract for teachers. Teachers are not happy. The veteran teachers are not happy that you know, there's an imbalance. So I would love to see a superintendent who values that. Another thing with making sure that we have a superintendent that has a collaborative relationship with our teachers, really utilize their expertise. Like I was just telling somebody earlier, teachers spend a lot of time educating themselves. You have to have a bachelor's degree to be a licensed teacher, to have a professional license. And then there's teachers who decide to do master's level work. Some teachers have 2, 3, 4 masters. Some do doctoral level and PhD work. So, and then on top of that, professional development that you're required to do to, you know, get increases in salaries and just professional development to stay on top of trends in the field. So educators are doing it. All right. And they should be paid and rewarded for the work that they're doing, period. And we can't say that we're investing in education and then we're not taking care of teachers. So that's something that's really important. I did students, families, teachers, support staff. We want to make sure that we're putting our arms around support staff. Support staff are vital to our schools. We need a superintendent who's going to evaluate that whole support staff situation. There's support staff members who complain that their job in the past, they have complained. I haven't heard too many complaints recently once we brought these things up again at the board, but some support staff members were having some challenges with being promoted to positions who have been there for decades. And this is going to make me go off on a tangent but there's a culture in our Clark County School District of looking over highly qualified people to choose individuals who haven't had as much experience, and then all of a sudden they're in leadership roles. When you have people who have been waiting for 20 years. I know a teacher right now who has been trying to move up and has been a teacher for 17 years, and people who have less teaching experience, like 5, and I have seen some 1 and 2. Like I'm looking through, I'm going through with a fine-tooth comb. And once I win this seat, because we need to win, okay? One thing that's important to me, I want all the data. I want it all. I want to know, I want to look at promotions, how long teachers have been teaching, what is their expertise level. I want to know all of that. How many years have they been in the district? Because that's important. And I want to see how balanced and how equitable it is across the board. So the point that I was making is that same philosophy is for individuals who are support staff as well. You have to have space and room for your workforce to grow, like, duh. And then it makes, people want to work for you when they know they have opportunities to grow. Then you get people who aren't coming to work groggy and mad and upset. So that's something I want to work on. I'm definitely for our support staff. Who else is on the list? Students, families, teachers, support staff, administrators. I think it's important we have collaborative relationships with our administrators and ensuring that they have the resources, support that they need, ensuring that there's wraparound services. I've gotten some I don't know, I don't want to say it was necessarily a complaint, but maybe some like pay attention to support wraparound services and ensuring that they still have the services that they need in their schools to support their students. Regent Perkins, you saved me. Okay, I had to cough for a second. So I don't think she can hear me. Oh, okay. Let's see. My goal, and I want to bring people together. And that is the spirit that we have been motivated by with everything that's happening with Kamilah. And y'all, I was saying her name wrong. And my professor, Dr. Dyson, he did a whole, he was on I think it was CNN. I think he was on CNN. And the lady was calling her name wrong. And I was like, oh no, let me get this right. It's Kamilah. Kamilah. So there's this movement. We're excited. Okay, Adana, I'm on the thing, okay? We're excited. And in that same way, I am excited about the school board race. I'm having so much fun. It's a lot of work. I'm having so much fun doing this work. I'm having fun putting up signs. I'm having fun going to meetings. And after the day, I'm like, dang, I'm tired. I'm really tired. Like, I'm really exhausted because so much talking. That's why, I usually love to have my team on with me today because they help me talk. And I really appreciate hearing from the community. But it's a lot of work to be done. And I'm so excited to be a part of this because I really feel that we're in a place of changing the Clark County School District. I don't want to say that it's going to be easy. It's going to be work, because there are pushbacks to change. And I don't know everything. So, but once I get there and we work hard to win, we'll learn more as we go about the inner workings, and we'll do what we can to do our part to, do our part to create change. Regent Perkins, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Hey, no, I just joined. I was having trouble with my audio earlier. So
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
I finally found stuff. I
You
finally
did?
was able to log in.
Oh, cool. I said when you logged in, I was like, you saved me because the team is gone today. There were so many events happening. So there's a event at the chamber, and they're meeting with the associate group that's doing the superintendent search. I know there's people there. And then there's the DNC watch party. And then Mr. Rodney went to support the Black men are having a conversation about Kamilah at the WSO. So I told everybody, go do what you're
Oh,
doing.
wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot. I didn't know
Good.
about half of those. I knew about the DNC watch party and I knew about the thing at City Hall, but the other
Yeah.
stuff I did not know about.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna move forward. I have COVID, so
You have what?
COVID. Stop, girl.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay?
I am. I'm actually doing a lot better today. The past 2 days, I was more like in sleepy mode. My body was aching and getting the chills, but I feel a lot better today. So I was like, well, everybody's gonna be doing their events. I'm just gonna get on and talk. I gotta move.
I figured out finally what I'm gonna try to. Somebody asked me, "What are you gonna do now?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna work with Nan. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see what we can do and how far we can take it with Nan."
I love it. And you have Tracy and I support.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful. Thank you for taking that role on too. I love that. Oh, hopefully President Bush will watch. I should maybe link. Here's our conversation about you, about Nan.
Yeah, we're gonna pump up Nan. We're gonna pump up Nan. I just
Like we
I just
support.
don't know where to begin. And so as
Uh-huh.
soon as I learn more about because I don't have any idea what the expectations were.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just thinking maybe up until like November 5th, we really need to keep the Board of Regents in the Constitution.
Okay.
So I guess no on one because
Okay.
well, if you look at what's happening across the country.
Could you talk a little bit about what's going on? 'Cause I don't think people know what's going on with that.
Well, it's okay. Right now, the Board of Regents is an entity. It is separate from, we're elected. We used to serve 6-year terms, but now that's been shortened to 4. But it's a separate group, so you vote on them, and it's kind of insulating higher education from the pendulum swings of politics, because sometimes things are in favor and sometimes things are out of favor. And I just can see I mean, if you have good leadership, if you have good leaders, then it works. You won't have a problem and everything will work out fine. But if you have leaders that are not so good or that have an agenda, then higher ed will suffer, like we see in Florida, like we see in Texas, like we see in Idaho. I mean, there's just this thing going across the country that um, uh, that lawmakers want to control higher ed. And so right now, they're like I said, higher ed is kind of shielded because we're in the Constitution. But um, looking at what's happened in the past, because they did the same thing with the State Board of Ed. If you remember way back when, um, they said, okay, we're going to change the composition of the State Board of Ed. And before you know it, there's what, one elected
Mm-hmm.
and the rest are appointed. So yeah.
Yeah, I believe I can't remember how many, but yeah, well, we know Trisha Braxton's running for the one of those seats.
Right. Oh, so
Okay.
up north, down south, and then the rest are appointed. I mean, so and we saw what happened with our school board, right, wrong, or indifferent. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Mhm.
They're saying, well, the regents are uncooperative and they don't answer questions. I'm like, well, but what about when the county commission, when all of them got jail time, or they didn't say let's eliminate the county commission. No, just more, you just took the time to vote different people in. And
Right.
that's, yeah.
So
So
why is
that's,
that such a thing? And you know what? I'm starting to think, why is this such a thing with education? You know,
there's a lot of money in education. Let's be serious.
yeah, you know, you're right. You're right. Because I'm like, now, if we tried to get appointed people over there with the city council and they would be throwing a fit. Appointed
Right?
people over there with the legislature, appointed people over there with all them other positions, it would be a hot mess. Now,
It would be.
I do want to say that I know that we were asking, I know that Lavapsy, we were like, listen, we need help. We need help, some type of help. And I'm like, now we didn't say that type of help, but
Right. But the
we
people
need
that are
help.
closest to the problem are closest to the solution. So
Yeah,
if you're gonna say, hey, what helped, because being the best thing you can ask somebody is, how can I help you?
right.
Not don't just say, oh, I'm gonna, put gas in your car, but no, I don't need gas in my car right now. I need new tires. Don't, just give me the help I need. And that's one thing that's lacking. They're like, oh, well, they always want to give you the help that they want to give you rather than the help that's necessary and needed.
Absolutely. So what is the ballot question? It's ballot question 1 and it's going to be on the ballot this time.
Yes, it is going to be on the ballot this time.
Who put that? Who sponsored that?
Fabian, what is Fabian's last name? Senator, what is Fabian? He's a
The senator sponsored
yes.
it.
Yes, because last time the assembly sponsored it and it wasn't supposed to be able to come back, right? Once the assembly sponsored it, we voted on it and it didn't pass. So that was supposed to be the end of the question, but they brought another they said, "Oh, this one's different, but it's coming from the Senate," and it basically says kind of the same thing.
So it's to eliminate, so there would be, if it passed, just so I can understand, there would be no more board of regents.
There would be a board of regents, but they'd be under the legislative branch. So that means the legislature could do anything they wanted with the board of regents. Like they could say, oh, well, we want 4 appointed and 4
Okay.
we want 4 appointed and we want 4 elected. Or we can say they could say we want them all appointed and none elected. They can just change it. But right now, the way it stands in the Constitution, you have to make a constitutional amendment to change the board of regents. So it's a little bit more difficult. And I don't know. I think the founders of the state of Nevada had a good idea,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
keep it separate, to try to keep the politics out of education.
Mhm.
But it's very political, as you know.
As I'm learning.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Learning.
ma'am.
I'm like, Lord, somebody help me. Please help me.
But I have a question for you. Talk to me about the um, charter schools and school choice.
Okay.
What is that all about? I mean, I know what school choice is. I know what it was supposed to be because I remember looking at it when it came to Chicago, the Chicago Unified School District. It was a parent board, a parent board that, yes, they had to comply with the state requirements for K through 12. But it was a parent board. They got to hire and fire teachers, like that got to hire and fire principals, and basically it was a little autonomy,
Mhm.
you know, at that particular school. But when it came to us, something's changed. It's not a parent run board. The parent can't fire and hire teachers. The parent can't, hire and fire principals, um, et cetera, right? There's so many things that they changed from the original plan of charter schools to what charter schools became in Nevada.
Okay.
So talk to me about
So
charter schools and um, about the vouchers. Basically,
okay.
it's a program.
Yeah. So my understanding, so right now we have our governor supports vouchers.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
Yeah. So the voucher program, and not those communities, but from communities who are not happy with public education right now, they want a voucher option to where the public education funding
Okay.
would be given to their child for them to pick to send their child to private or charter, any other charter or private school.
Okay.
So that's pretty much the argument on that. And so for those who are really on the school choice movement, they want to be able to have the choice to send their child to the best school, no matter where it is in our state.
Okay.
Now, the only issue we already have a level of choice within the Clark County School District because there's the magnet schools, and students can pick and choose where they would like to go. And even with some of the schools, I know one school specifically that I hear complaints about a lot is that LVA school, because there's a lot of students who don't get into the school. So it causes a lot of, and it's a very talented school. Like you have to audition to get into the school and everything. So, and that's my argument. Okay, when I finish, okay. My argument is, if there is, the voucher program and there's a couple of schools who are, outperforming, everyone's not going to get into that school.
Right.
And I understand. I absolutely when I'm talking, like I was talking to some parents, I went to a very conservative Bitcoin group.
Okay.
Were very
That's
conservative.
cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. I've never
club.
been to a Bitcoin group.
Oh, you should go. It was.
Oh my goodness.
I'm on Zoom. Give me a second. Bitcoin Club. They meet in Summerlin. Every Thursday except for the last Thursday at the S&G bar. It was such a great group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they were more conservative leaning, and one of the
Very well put.
Yeah, very conservative leaning. And one of the members of the group, we were talking, he was saying, he was talking about the voucher program, and we should be able to send our children to any school. And I let them talk. But, my only argument is that some kids are going to be left out. And I believe that we should work to make sure that every public school is just as,
Thank you.
every public school is just as phenomenal, and we can do it. Like we have teachers, we can do it. And I think it speaks to what you were talking about, having the quality leaders in place who are helping to shape and, make key decisions to make sure that we have good people in place. Now, I understand we have students who are behind. I get that, but we need to build the strategies, whatever that is, get their intensive instruction, whatever that is, to help them reach the levels that they need to be at in their educational system. So that's really what the voucher thing is. Now the parents group that you were really talking about, I'm not familiar with that part, like the parents making decisions.
That's what the charter schools that first started, like that was the premise, is that the parents would be in so entrenched in the school system that they could hire and fire teachers. Like if a teacher wasn't performing, they would come, have a meeting. Basically, it's like each school had their own little school board.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I could see that. And you know what's so interesting to me is that the same group, because it is a very conservative leaning group idea, and I like I said, I get it. But then the same group says we don't need homework. And I'm like, but I thought y'all was involved.
We don't need homework. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
I get people telling me,
But
can
then,
you make sure that we don't have homework when you become on the board? I'm like,
no. Do you want your kids to learn? There's not enough hours in the day. By the time you take like for high school and above, by the time I take roll, get everybody settled in, I've lost 15 minutes, right?
yeah,
I've lost 15 minutes. And then the class time now is what, 45 minutes for high school, or 50 minutes for high school. So that means I've lost 15 minutes. So how much instruction time do I really have? And then you want me to get through, like history, you want me to get to World War One, from dawn of time to World War One
right,
in like 16 weeks? No, that's not going to happen. Not with the 30 minutes or 30 or 40 minutes of instruction time that I actually have.
exactly.
So yeah, there's some homework due. And I don't know. When you said that's what I thought the voucher program was,
Mhm.
they're talking about like I should be able to go to Faith Lutheran. Yes, you should. Absolutely, you should. However,
Own
here's what
pocket.
I believe that's going to happen. Suppose, first of all, let's just start by funding our kids at a great level. Let's start with that. Okay. Let's start by funding our kids so that there's enough, like you said, wraparound services and enough counselors and uh, enough, because you're in special ed, right? So there's enough
Yes.
social workers, there's enough, you know, all these wraparound services that the child needs to be successful. Let's start
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And listen, no, we not taking no voucher money to no fake Lutheran and Gorman. Pay
Well,
for that.
but what about the separation of church and state that I've been hearing? Well, separation of church and state. Well, that is taking state funds and giving it to a private entity. No.
Yeah, because every time I go to Faith Lutheran, they talking about Jesus and God. So
Of course they are. They're a Catholic school.
exactly.
What do you want them to talk about?
Yeah, yeah. Um, and I love, we've had some challenges with Faith Lutheran, but I love Faith Lutheran. Dr. Buke is the CEO up there. And so we've had some conversations with them. I do want to just a big shout out really quick to Jay and National Action Network and to LAVAPSI and NAACP, because we did for the first, so Faith Lutheran has adopted for the first time ever the anti-racism policy.
Yes.
Oh, that's
thank
what
you.
we did together. And so I we Faith Lutheran in our relationship, we're up and down, but they're trying to do some more equity, make sure that they're being better citizens. And especially with their being gospel focused.
Yes, they are gospel focused. They're Catholic focused. Say it like it is.
Yeah.
They are Catholic focused.
Catholic focused. They have some equity issues up there.
No, well, actually, Faith is Faith Lutheran. They're Catholic light. I'm joking because I was raised Catholic. So, so they're Lutheran. They're Lutheran. Yes, they are a Lutheran school. So if you don't want your students to be Lutheranized, then
Yes. Yep. But goodness gracious.
Well, you've been here for an hour, so.
Yep. And thank you. You know what? You saved me for that last little bit. So thank you for giving me that.
My pleasure. Anytime.
I was just talking and I was like, somebody's coming in. I said, oh, yes, Regent Laura. Yeah.
And thank you.
Save
Well,
me.
my pleasure always. It's always a pleasure to hear you speak, and it's always a pleasure. You always you're on point. You're on point.
Well, I learned from you. I'm trying to be
trying to
be like you when I grow up. No, let me give you your flowers right now. And after I make this point,
you make me cry.
No,
because this has been very stressful. We can talk when you turn this off. We can talk.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you your flowers because you've always, Regent Laura Perkins, you've always been a supporter of LAVAPSI. And whenever Tracy and I had questions or we were just navigating the challenges, we could call you and you always gave us like wisdom. And we would take that wisdom and we would run with it. And there's a couple other people who I also had to tell this to too, but I'm focusing on you now. LAVAPSI would not be what it is today if it was not for you really behind us, supporting us, and guiding us. And that's why we always made sure that whenever we were doing something, that we always made sure to honor you, even if it was a flyer or whatever, we made sure to honor
I
you.
thank you. I appreciate that so much. So
Yeah,
now with National Action Network, I'm gonna have to you guys are gonna have to impart some knowledge to me.
absolutely. Yep, for sure. We'll be right there. And you have the freedom to, take it to a place that I just did not have the time to take it to.
Well,
So
K through 12
you're,
is both handfuls.
yeah.
So
And you and what's my sister's name? Dr. Liz, you all are working
Dr.
together.
Liz, yeah.
So I think you split it up how you're gonna do, but you have the freedom to um make it the best that you all are gonna do. And I look forward to our work together. But I
Yeah,
really wanted you to know that you
thank
definitely were a big catalyst for me and Tracy, and we just knew that we could call on you because it's important. As we're learning I know as I'm learning in this work and transitioning over to, the political elected official side, you need good people in your corner.
you do. And you need the people that are gonna
Exactly.
tell you when to get off the bus, when to
Yeah,
get on the bus, and if you're riding on the right bus.
exactly. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining today.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. We went through our little spill today. So again, I'm Kamilah Bywaters. I'm running for the Board of School Trustees. I'm going to put all of the links that I talked about today in the Facebook post. Please donate to my campaign. We have a long work to go. We have a long road ahead of us, but we're going to get this done. I will have a calendar of events coming up soon so that you can participate in helping me to win this election. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're going to have Robin Turner on. She is going to be talking about adverse childhood trauma and the impact on education. So that's going to be a great conversation, and we'll see you next
Yes.
week. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.